Over there too. For those of you who don't know, the Taíno, we're the people who discovered Christopher Columbus.
I love
That gentleman was lost. Columbus, in his mind, his destination was the Indies. And in those days, China and Japan were known as the Indies. So when he landed in the Caribbean, he said, these islands are the Indies, and these people are Indies. And the terms have stuck. Anyone here from Borinquen? Is anyone here from Borinquen? All right. Borinquen means land of a valiant people. Now they call it Puerto Rico. Is anyone here from Quisqueya? Is anybody here from Quisqueya? All right. Some of you say yeah to both. PRDR. And that's the land known today as the Dominican Republic. And we also live in Haiti, Cuba, Jamaica, and the Bahamas. Are there any Jamaicans here? Now, one Jamaican in the house? Come on. Well, Jamaica means land of wood and water. And some people say, you know, the Taino language is dead. Well, let me break it down for you. All of you, each and every one of you speaks Taino every day. Yeah. You know what comes from our language? Words like hurricane, barbecue, canoe, tobacco, iguana, savannah, manatee, and I could go on and on. If you speak Spanish, forget about it. At least a couple hundred words. And we're still here today. Now, sometimes the history books will tell you that we're extinct. That's like that movie in that book, The Last of the Mohicans. And they're still alive and kicking. And so are we. And we're trying to recover our language, trying to recover our ceremonies. Now, as for our regalia, never used to wear a costume when you see a Native American in their traditional clothing. People sometimes ask me, Bobby, why don't you dress in your traditional Taino regalia? I said, you don't want to see this, all right? Back in the days, say 500 years ago, if you saw me in my traditional regalia, I might be almost naked, all right? And the same with the women. Now the women among the old-time Taínos, they walked around without any clothing. We had no shame of our bodies. However, if you were a married Taíno woman, you would wear a frontal apron called a nagua. Now for you older Latino women, do you know what an nagua is? That's the slip under the dress. But I don't think you folks wear that today, right? That's what they say in Taino, afuera de moda. And in the Caribbean, we didn't speak one language. We spoke several languages. Macori, Siboney, I could go on. We had different dialects. And if you met someone from a different band, you might have to use sign language. And I once met a jíbaro, a mountain man from Borinquen, Puerto Rico, and he began talking to me in sign language. He says, yeah, my friend passed away. And he was good people. And we had a strong friendship. But his woman dominated him. And I was taking notes. And then, of course, for Native people, it's impolite to point. So what's the Taino way of pointing? Many of you do it even today. We point with our lips like this. Okay? And you see in the NFL, they're having their problems with abuse of their women and children. Now, child abuse did not occur among Native people before 1492. We didn't believe in striking our children. Wow, isn't that something? Even to yell at a child was almost unheard of. If a child misbehaved, you might straighten them out by telling them a story. Or one thing we used to do is embarrass them in front of their friends. And we taught our children, and still do, respect for our elders. I'm glad I have white hair, so for example, in a native household, if a young person is sitting down, if the elder walks in the room, you give the elder your chair. And when food is served, who eats first? The elders. And among some native people, if a young person is walking down the road and they walk up to an elder, they ask permission to proceed. And if they're Spanish-speaking natives, they might say, con el permiso.